It was a cool summer morning in Salt Lake County, Utah, on June 3, 1991. The early hours carried the hum of lawn mowers, the soft chatter of neighbors, the distant sounds of children riding their bikes down the quiet suburban streets. To anyone passing by, it was an ordinary day. But inside one home, inside a modest, well-kept house that had stood for decades, lay a secret that would take over 20 years to uncover. By the time her family arrived, there were already warning signs. Lucile wasn't answering her phone. She had always been a creature of habit, reliable, punctual, structured. She wasn't the type to leave without telling anyone. And then, silence. Inside, the air was thick, a strange, unnatural stillness. As her family stepped forward, the warmth of familiarity was gone, replaced by an unnatural chill. And then, they saw it. Lucile Johnson was dead. Lucile Johnson was 78 years old, a widow, a mother, a grandmother. She had lived a full life, one filled with laughter, tradition, and quiet joys. But by 1991, she was alone. Her husband had passed years before, and her children were grown. But she wasn't lonely. She loved her independence. She loved her home. She had no enemies, no debts, no reason for anyone to target her. But on that fateful day, someone had. Her family moved through the house calling her name. No response, then a gasp. Lucile Johnson was found on the bedroom floor, motionless. She had been brutally beaten. Her own cane, a simple wooden support she used every day, had been turned into a weapon. She had fought, she had struggled, but she hadn't stood a chance. But there was something else. Scattered among the broken furniture, the papers tossed from drawers, the shattered picture frames, were Lego pieces. Tiny, colorful blocks, innocent, harmless, but completely out of place. Lucile didn't have young children. So why were they there? For weeks, investigators searched for a suspect, a motive, a lead. But there was nothing. Neighbors hadn't seen anything. No one reported strange visitors. There were no forced entry points. It wasn't a robbery. So what was it? The case went cold. Year after year, detectives revisited the file, trying to find something, anything they had missed. But Lucile Johnson's killer had vanished. Until 22 years later. 2013 DNA technology had evolved. And when the old evidence was tested again, the results shocked everyone. John Sansing. Sansing had been arrested in 1998, 7 years after Lucile's death, for another brutal murder. The evidence was undeniable. His DNA was found in Lucile's home. But the most disturbing discovery was the Lego pieces. Because when they were tested for fingerprints, they didn't belong to John Sansing. They belonged to his son. A child had been present during the murder. Had he seen it? Had he helped? Sansing never explained, he never confessed. And to this day, no one knows what that child remembers. John Sansing was already on death row. But Lucile Johnson's family finally had answers. After 2 decades, they finally knew the truth. But some truths are too horrifying to understand. What do you think about this case? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more true crime stories, subscribe. Because sometimes, the truth is darker than fiction. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.